What are you doing, Muskin? Come here. Here. Hey guys. We got a lovely day today. So I decided to bring some things outside and go over part of what I got the other day at Intergroom. So, what are you doing? She's happy to be outside. I have Spiky here also to do a little brushing on. But while I'm waiting for some of you to come join, just wanted to quickly go over. You might notice in the description that it does say that there's going to be a Les Poochs giveaway. So I'll be explaining that a little bit later. A couple things we're going to do to enter pretty much a drawing giveaway. As you know, I'm trying to build the site. I've gotten down part of it. Have the Chromebook stable so it's not shaking around. You might hear some wind, but I can't not sit outside today. I mean, even look at her. We're even going to do a little bit of brushing on her because I do have a small slicker that I believe is going to be great for puppies or like Yorkies with really small faces, or that just really sensitive skin that you might want to be a little extra cautious with. So I'll go into that. Essentially, I for those of you who don't know, just went to Dog Grooming Expo, Intergroom, annual grooming expo in New Jersey. So I was able to go down there, find some new products, find some new things that are going on in the industry, make my decision of what items I want to upgrade and offer to some of my clients who are out there and just have the knowledge, either taught, gone over how to handle the grooming of their new pets, or they're looking for something more specific and higher quality that you're not going to be able to find in a big box store. So I'm going to be bringing you those options for other items that are out there. It's not difficult to find them or to get exactly what you're looking for. So I'm going to try to keep up with the chat. I believe I have it up. I don't see anything yet, so I might be here hanging out in the sun by myself. I'm going to give it a minute. I'll be right back to check if my feed is actually updating or not. I might not be, so I don't know if I'm missing any comments coming in. But I can't really see it here because I'm right in the sun. I also don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me at all right now or not. If you can hear me, just let me know that you're there. I want to see if I could be talking from over here and you still hear me. In case I have to get up. I don't think I'm going to have to really get up. Even if I put Munchkin down, she's not seeming to go anywhere. She's just soaking in the sun. So, she's definitely loving it out here. Well, I'll just go quickly then. For anybody who's not going to be watching this live and going over the replay, you can still enter this drawing, and essentially just what I'm going over are mostly the slicker brushes. Just a quick short demo, not really demo them, more what I know about them and the differences between some of the other ones. Why I chose what I did. I'm not going to do a demo until this weekend, really. I'm going to be using them, but I'm not going to use a demo until I use them some on some of the other dogs. Kind of get a feel for them, see what really the difference is, if it's what I expected or not, and either record and post it later, or once I have a feel for it, I might just run a quick video show me using it, because there are a lot of things other than just the slicker that you're going to need to use, including sprays or conditioners. So first, I'm going to go over essentially how many different slickers there are. Not really go over them, but just show you the waste of time. I have my brushes, part of my brush graveyard here. You can see here on the table, there's even a number of slickers there, which I use some of them. And hi, Buffy. And you'll see how many other ones there are, because you go into a big box store, like I said, it might either just be a gimmick, or they're trying to say, oh, well, this person needs this brush and this brush. Usually if you buy a quality item, it's good enough for more than one purpose. Or if you use a quality item regularly, you won't need to go into those marketed type slickers that they make specifically for a mat or a long hair or a this or a that. If you just keep up with your maintenance, and that's a lot of what I do, make sure that you know how to maintain your dog between grooms, whether it's in a short summer cut or you want to have it a little bit longer. Pretty much the consistency of brushing on a regular basis is going to, we all know it's going to bond with our, okay, no, you can't jump from here, I'll put you down. And then you won't need to get those dematters or pay that much extra for your groomer. So I'm going to pull this up here real quick. I'm going to more show it. Let's see. I'm going to just pull this up. I've gotten all of these, and they're actually pretty much mostly brand new. I got them for a reason to show the different types there are, but they all pretty much do the same thing. So, there's some that are just regular pins and teeth. If you buy a lower quality one, they're going to seem to be either sharp, or if you kind of bend it a little bit, it stays bent. It doesn't go back. It's not as high quality. I could even feel right now that each tooth seems a lot thinner. I barely feel it in my finger. Must have good lotion on right now. But this one is a flexible one, so it's going to be more used for finishing, or if you keep up daily, kind of just brush it with this at the end. It's not really going to remove many tangles or knots, because it's kind of going to pull away from it, and it'll go through straighter here. So after you dematter, detangle, it's this. So that, and the flexible ones, unless if you're really keeping up or grooming, you might not really need that one. More common one are the ones with the curved and firm back, because this, when you put it down, it's going to go right to the skin. You can feel it right there. But this one right here, just by putting it down before I even brush at all, I can feel it. I'm not even going to do it on my hands. Nope. I barely touched it, and I could almost feel blood. But to get away from that, I hope you can see this right. Oh, 1 second. I want to record on my camcorder so I can cut edit later. We're going to start that. Hold on. So that curved head one is common, and I'm going to show you the marketing ploy on that now. So you have the curved head one, this one. They're going to make that same thing, different sizes. Say, oh, you need one for the face. Oh, you need one for spiky. Or same thing, curved head one, but come here. Come here. Munchkins, be quiet. You be quiet. So this one has a push on the back to kind of when hair gets full there, you can kind of just push it, and you don't have to really worry about pulling it out. But you just use a comb. You should have a comb anyway. You shouldn't be using just a brush. So this pushes the hair off, so it's easier to clean. But we'll get back to it being a little sharp. What they do now is they're going to put rubber round tips on the end. Come here. They're going to make it so it's softer. It won't scratch. It's a little harder to brush burn them. These are actually pretty good for in the bath, because the rubber tips it's a lot more sensitive in the bath when the skin is skin is soft. So this is good for that, actually. I do like that. Or to be very, very careful with the leather. Same thing. This was especially the back to kind of clean it. Even that, you can still feel the rubber tips because they don't want you to push them off, but hair's still going to get stuck in there. So again, part of it's useless, the idea on it, or the concept, but they're going to get you to do it. Same thing, this one doesn't have the push, it's firm back, but it has the rubber tips, so it's not going to scratch. But I can go like this. I haven't used this one. I probably never will, but just by going like this, if you're trying to remove a little bit of a mat, that corner now, those pins are bent already. Kind of useless. These I use them for these, or I'm just going to show you actually. So same thing. This one is a firm back, ergonomical. It's soft, but the ends on these are pretty sharp. This one does demat really well. It's a Bass issue. It's really good quality, except for the sharpness of the teeth. It does seem to be a little rough, unless if you're really careful with it. Maybe it's different. Not really getting all the way down to the skin, or you're just trying to use this for the outer layer of mats or tangles before going into another brush that you're going to slowly work in. And this one, same thing, curved back. It's a little softer tips. Very economically priced, larger surface area, so you can kind of get through it. This is one of the ones I'd recommend for basic everyday use. It does work really well. It's good quality. The pins don't bend as easily. If you go like this, push them, and they're going right back to where they were. Yeah, it's going to bend a little bit, but you're not going to do it that hard on your dog. So this one I've been using as one of the main ones. Once I have the mats and tangles removed, I switch to, this is an Artero. It's a flexible comb, especially when my dog's being longer coated. Come here. Dog's being longer coated. This is a lot more, it's gentler on the sensitive skin, but it does go through, remove loose undercoat, pretty much straighten the hair. I use this one a lot while fluff drying. Once all the tangles, everything's removed, all the mats, and I'm on that last 10% of drying, and I'm just getting everything. This is one of the ones I'll use. That's really good for this one, and this is probably my second choice. Essentially, these two products, if you use them right and use them consistently, this is pretty much all you would need. I do have some other products here real quick. Another slicker, it's a rubber back. It's good for short-haired, removing some of their dying coat, kind of pulling it out, help with less shedding. And the other side, same thing. It has the tips on the back, almost like I would use this as somebody who just wants to be careful. They keep up with it, but they really, either their dog is sensitive or other thing like that. This is, I don't even know what brand. There's a couple like this. This is really inexpensive. Or this is good for children who you want them to kind of brush the dog, get used to brushing the dog. So that's good for that. And this little pal, it's the same thing with children or toddlers, not toddlers, but I really don't know. I'm not a father of humans. Dogs I am, so I don't know what age you'd want them to start brushing at. But this is just rubber tips, so it would, if you get a puppy, it's good for them. Or if you have young children, it's good for them to kind of mimic brushing, and you don't have to worry about it hurting them. This one I wouldn't mind. I could actually scratch my ear with this one. That's soft. I wouldn't do that with any of the others, though. Same thing with this. This is just a really soft one, kind of for the face or to use in the bath. Made for smaller dogs. So now we'll get into the good part. Let me just check the comments. Yeah, no, I knew about the wind, Buffy. Mentioned that at the beginning. I'm not going to stand out here. Okay, so Buffy's asking, what is a slicker used for versus a pin brush? Now, a pin brush is very gentle. I know you've worked a lot with Papillons, so that's very good for them. Their hair is thinner, plus you are maintaining them. You're probably brushing them at least daily. So a pin brush is going to be good for that and fine with that. It's not going to damage the coat at all. You don't have really any risk of damaging the coat with a pin brush. Pins are spread out. They're usually rounded. It's it's more of a finishing or upkeep brush. Now a slicker brush, I'm going to go into the Les Poochs ones in a minute, helps actually get down to the skin first off. So even if your papillons were not tangled and you were able to use a pin brush, the pin brush wasn't really kind of scratching the skin, removing a little bit of dander. Also, that stimulates the skin to be healthier, the blood flow in the body of the dog. So that's going to make a healthier coat be produced. So, yes, a pin brush is fine, since if you don't need to, but you're going to want to use slicker. There's multiple ones just to remove that, and I know that papillons also do shed, so that's going to help remove the dying or dead coat right away, so you're not going to have shedding everywhere. Plus, that if you remove dying coat while it's essentially dead or still dying, that makes room for a new, healthier coat to grow in quicker and be stronger. So that's why you use a slicker brush. So I went over all those slickers. Essentially, I went there to figure out how could I start using less or have one specifically. Okay, same thing though with the comb. Yes, everybody should have a comb. I have multiple ones. And I did go, you probably missed it. I did go over, there was a slicker brush there that I touched against my hand or my palm, and I was not even going to move it because I knew it would scratch me. But then there's other ones that are, when they're made properly or made quality, they're actually rounding every tooth as it's made, so it's not sharp. It's just very thin, so that way I can get between any tangles or any nets that are just beginning to be made. Or a pin brush, the pins are too far spread apart to actually get in there and slowly break up a mat and break up tangles. Not sure. I hope that answered that. But if you have any other questions on that, let me know. But I'm going to show you now with the Les Poochs brushes why I got them. So any mats or tangles, so I got two of them. One of the most popular ones, Mat Zapper. And this is their green one. It's a medium firm, like I went over before. Some are really flexible. Some don't. Some aren't going to move at all. More flexible is either going to be for really fine coated, or like a finishing brush. You don't really need to get down to the skin to do anything else. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. The ones that, as they get firmer, are either going to be for thicker coated, double coated dogs. Ones that do have mats, you're going to want it to be firmer because you're going to want it to stay there. But see, this might look sharp, it might look dangerous to you, but this one I could even put in the back of my hand and it's barely scratching. So that was with me pressing pretty good. I can go like this, and I don't feel like it's stabbing me at all. I hope you're not doing that with your Yorkies, but yeah, I would barely feel anything with that. I would use this as a back scratcher if it wasn't so expensive. So they make the teeth differently on them. So the Mat Zapper, what they did was they put all the teeth in a straight row, each one. That way, when it goes into a mat, essentially what you're trying to do with the mat is slowly untangle it, and essentially when you're done untangling it, all the hair should be straight. That's why all of these are in straight rows. So essentially, you're going from here and you're trying to straighten all the hair. I haven't brushed her in a couple days, and she's a puppy, mind you. So she doesn't seem to mind the pressure what's being put on here with her. So even with this one, what? So you're going to want to go through with that, where I do have a pin brush here. But pin brush, yeah, it works where I just brushed, but here where it's not, it's kind of getting stuck a bit, and it's not going to gently remove that unless if you really go like one little thing at a time. So that, like, I'm going to flip her over. I'm just going to stay there. So here where I haven't brushed yet, again, the Mat Zapper. and it's untangled all this hair straight already in 3 brushes and 3 strokes. Done. Pin brush took about 7 or 8 to get it untangled, and she might have felt it a little bit more. So that's where you're going to notice the difference in those two. Now, same thing. This is the Christensen one. This one, same thing, might look that way to you, but what I was saying about the flexibility of the teeth themselves, if you start putting too much pressure, they kind of flex out. So it's more like I can use this on her ears. It's more like if it hits any resistance or it's a really sensitive area, what it's doing is the pins are actually flexing back a bit, so you're not hitting the tip that looks scary or sharp, which even that, a lot softer than any of those brushes, but smaller. So you're not scratching with the top here, because now that it's flexed, I don't know if you can see it, I hope so. It's flexed, you're kind of using the side and an angle of the tooth itself. So you're not really, like down here, if I go like this, you're not going to feel that at all, because it's just smooth, rounded teeth there. So it's kind of flexing back, and that's what some of the other brushes do, but quality is not as high. So when you flex them back, they stay bent back, and you'll only have the brush for about a week. But yeah, and that's exactly why you don't need a slicker. It's their hair there, yeah. But I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this in the glare of the sun. Yeah, if you're not getting your dog matted at all, it's fine. You're still gonna want to use a slicker brush at least once every couple weeks or so. So if you start getting the dog groomed, the groomer will take care of that. Or I don't know how often you bathe the dog. Same thing. If you're bathing the dog, you just removing the dirt, scraping off that dying skin, dander, pulling all that out. You want to remove as much of that as possible that's dying and staying there on the skin, so that way it makes room for healthier skin, healthier hairs. Essentially, that gets done. So when you're bathing or you get groomed, so since you're keeping up with it and there's no tangles, mats, or undercoat, anything there, you could get away with just using the pin brush. But if you're not, I know you're not getting your dog groomed anywhere else, so it's not getting that stimulation of the skin, or it's more of like a revival that you'd want to do once a month for the dog's coat to continue growing. So that's why I got these two. Essentially, there's, like you're saying, you don't even need you don't find the need for a slicker brush. But if you were to go away for a couple of days and whoever's watching the dogs doesn't brush them at all, you're going to get back home, there's going to be those tangles and mats. And for you to work through it, yes, you could get through it without a slicker brush, using a pin brush and a comb, but they might feel more pain from it because it's not going to be as smooth, or it's going to take you a lot longer. For at-home maintenance, that might be fine. You might be sitting there daily, brushing the dog 2-3 times, or during your whole favorite show, if you're watching Jeopardy, and every commercial break, you're sitting there just brushing the dog a little. The dog likes being brushed at that point. You'll probably have no need for a slicker brush, but it's a matter of the health of the dog. You'd want a healthy skin and coat for an overall better health. So as long as it's getting the stimulation in the skin to continue having good blood flow and producing better hair. Each dog is different. Each owner maintains their dog differently. So, like you said, you might be able to get away with just that, and maybe, I think I showed it here, with this little one that's more like just regular bristles and it's made for the faces of small dogs. You could use this in the bath. So now you're like kind of scrubbing off. It's almost like you're using a pumice stone on your foot. If you never use any, you don't remove that dead skin, you're probably going to have. I don't even want to think about that. But you remove that, and then you notice your foot's a lot smoother. Doesn't feel dry. It's not cracked. It's not. So consider that. Your pin brush isn't doing that. So you might not need a slicker. This is only a couple dollars. I know that they have the Zoom Groom, but that's more for de-shedding. This is kind of just to scrub in there gently. So if you're worried about one of these being too sharp on one of your dogs, you can get, if you're using a pin brush and a comb to chaff and you're not getting any tangles, you'll get away without needing the slicker. Yeah, a lot of people get scared with the slickers. And that's why I pulled out my graveyard first. You have to be careful with them. We'll go more into that. I'm going to demo them later in the week. Actually using them on the hobbies. But that's the basic on these slicker brushes. Now just a quick overcap of essentially what I think is if the dog's a little bit matted, I'm going to need my mat zapper. But essentially, for my type clients, medium firm is good. I have this either for the face or sensitive areas. And like you were just saying with your combs, yes, there's different types of combs that actually, I got a whole line of these which are antimicrobial, anti-static, anti a lot of things. There's a poodle one, there's a detangler, and there's a finishing comb here. So, with the help of certain sprays I'm going to go over in a second, a comb can pretty much finish, and you can go from, well, I feel secure using one of my slickers, so I don't even need a pin brush because I know it's going to be gentle, and then I'm going to go to the comb. The comb will feel a little bit of resistance if there's any mats or tangles. That's why you start with the wider tooth comb. And my dogs that I groom, a lot of that. Spikey, come here. Come here. Treat. Sit over here. What are you barking at? Actually, I could use him real quick. What are you doing? Why are you barking over there at the neighbor? It's going to go right through his coat because I did brush him earlier. So, but if it were to stop or get snagged, I think it might around his ear. No. If it were to stop or get snagged, you just stop and then go to my slicker or your pin brush. Usually I find if you use a pin brush, you can see this has two different sides, and the copper side is the one that's anti-static because that's going to be your finishing. So essentially after you use a pin brush, you're going to have to go through with the comb to make sure it's all either straight or all the tangles are removed. So it's just a little more time consuming. This essentially is a single road pin brush. That's a way to think of it. So it's going to be a lot more combing. Again, if you have the time, your dogs like it, I'd do this all the time. Just grab one of them and do that. But, oh, he went away. Munchkin, come here. But I need to get into, yeah. So these combs, I am going to be affiliating with them. I'm probably, even though I cut my hair, it's not as long as it was a couple months ago. I love these combs already. And the thing that actually got me to get it was multiple stands had them. But when I went to also, she took her hair, did this, got it all frizzed up, handed me a comb and said, look, test it out. And I tested it out right away, and let me tell you, one, didn't really pull it in her small tangles, and her hair, the tips, when I was going to the tips that I was expected to kind of poof out, nope. So these are a little different. That's why I got different sizes, ones, different things. But again, they're going to be regular comb types. I use my specialty comb, which is given over. I got the half moon comb. It's going to be more for the faces. I'm scared of using this one, this Christensen. This Christensen slicker brush. You can go through with the comb for the faces. You won't be stabbing them in the eye because it gets a little shorter as you go up to the muzzle. Let me grab Munchkin real quick and show you for those of you who had she's about 4 pounds, a 4-pound dog. She's going to sit there. If I haven't done her, they need baths. But you can see, I think you can see. You should be able to see. You can see, as you're going towards the eyes, it's shorter tooth. And this did went through her pretty quickly, and I know I haven't brushed her in like 3 days because I wanted to test my products on her. So quickly before I wrap up, let me just go quickly into my giveaway that I mentioned there. So my Les Poochs items, I love and love their product. I got a gift card from them. So what I'm going to do is, as you know, I'm streaming a lot, or new on here. A lot of you know that. What I'm going to do is, if you just share this, send it to me that you've shared, and I'll enter you each video for the rest of the week that I do. I'll enter you each time that you share a video, but also I'll be checking comments. Have the new subscriber mention that they just subscribed, and I'll be asking them from whose share, and they'll get entered once for being a new subscriber, and you'll get entered again for them subscribing from your recommendation. So that's how you'll build up. Don't do just a share. Tell people to actually subscribe or watch it. Turn your notifications on so that way you don't miss any streams or videos for the rest of the week, because until Easter Sunday, every entry will be added. It's a $15 gift card plus and free shipping. I'll cover the shipping, so you'll be able to use that for I'll go over later in the week any of the sprays, if you want shampoos, brushes, whatever you need. It's going to be $15 gift card. Entries I'm going to cut on Easter. That'll be the last time. So if you share them, I'll just post in the description how to notify me that you've entered. I'll put my email address that you can email me at, or like I said, make a comment. We'll be doing this monthly. Try to spike up those subscriber count and people watching. So even you don't have to watch it live. I know I'm in the middle of the day right now. Most of you are working, but this is also nighttime for the other side of the world. So they need some attention too. Don't know if I could promise covering shipping to internationally. Figure something out. So they'll be later this week. I'm going to go into. I'll just show you quickly. Les Poochs line. I have all of pretty much almost every product that they have of shampoo and conditioners. So I'll be testing pretty much each one of my dogs individually, including the puppies that are here, with different products, giving you my opinion on them, showing you what they are. That's Les Poochs right there, which we'll be giving that card away for. So you'll have a better idea of if you win, you have to be entered in the drawing though to win. So I told you how to enter the drawing is you share and tell people to subscribe. That's all it is. It's a share and subscribe spike we're trying to do. So that'll enter you for our first giveaway, which I'm going to do monthly. And the other shampoos are so over there, Nature's Specialties, which use quicker, slicker. Always spray your dog before brushing it. You don't want to brush dry hair. It's just going to pull at the tangles or break it, or just have to lightly mist it. We'll go over that. Or I use there also, this is a foaming face wash. A lot of people will have either mentioned it's not that good, but I'd use it before the bath, kind of start getting that eye gunk softened up, or you don't have to worry about something sitting there and then getting wet, and then you're trying to do things for dogs that don't like being wet the whole time or get cold really quickly. I use the foaming face wash, even for the body of dogs before bathing them. This way I kind of starts scrubbing into them. Now I can see what's bouncing around. Sorry about that. You need those comments and also how to fix it, make the streams better. So some of these products are ones that I use. So you'll be able to get them from me to maintain your dog at home between grooms. I also have other samples that I don't use that either I will try, or if you wanted to get it from me to try yourself and give me your opinion on it, or if it's a good fit for your dog at home. I do have these samples and I'll be able to get, as you can see, half of them are the same, like repeats, either ones I have or not, but other ones are different, new ones, new types. I just find this a really good quality at a great value, so I recommend the Nature Specialties. I have their whole catalog. I'll be able to provide items from that. Les Poochs, phenomenal across the board. You don't even have to essentially worry about what it is. It is a higher end, a little more pricey, so it depends on what you want to do with your dog, but a lot of theirs are a little more concentrated, so they'll last longer and have different purposes in the long run. Um, so I'll post all of that, and let me just check comments now that I can kind of read that there's half a cloud. Scare me. Okay, so your Yorkies, yes, you're on a raw diet because you have to pull their teeth due to go into that also maintenance and health of the dog, the importance of brushing their teeth or at least removing the plaque to prevent that. Okay. Um, yeah, it's very small dogs. I used to use, I don't know if you can see really how small this is. This is also Christensen. I used to use this. It's a detangler, but since it's a detangler, I can go like this, even on the most sensitive parts, and I don't really see any scratches of where it was. It's extremely soft and rounded. Each pin is done individually, but you see how close they are. It kind of has gaps, so you're not really stabbing at them. This does it. What you'd want is, even before I got any of these combs, what I used to do is just use the foaming face wash to get it soft, and then go to a flea comb and just slowly do it, because yeah, they are sharp, but not only that, these ones, even though they're soft and rounded, this is too big for her face. Her face is probably the size of a dime, this corner. So what you're gonna have an issue with a small face is the eyes. You don't want to bring a slip or brushing in the eyes, regardless of how soft they are. It's easy to scratch the eye, so you don't want to do that. Even with this one, that's just a bristle. Same thing. If you're going near their eye or something and they don't close their eye, you just pass over it, you're gonna scratch the cornea or something on your eye. This one I just like because it's smaller, the way it's shaped, it's easier to kind of control it. Munchkin, come here. Come. Yeah, she listened from across the yard. So our demo dog here, you'll be seeing her on the next stream of me actually brushing her, but she's about the size of your dog probably. Let's see here. I'm gonna use the back just so I can put it there and not have to jump. But her muzzle is not much smaller than that. You don't want to use a brush that is twice the size of the muzzle, because you might accidentally come this way or that way and you're on the eye. This one, once it's stay. You gonna let me get this side though? Okay. Right here, there's, I'd say like 10% of the brush hanging off, plus the gentleness of this and it going back. I'm not going to be going multiple times, having to move it in and out. I know I can go once and go slowly and handle that. But to get the debris out, you probably want to use either a foaming face wash or use wipes to kind of dampen it and remove some of that first, and then use, one of these detanglers. Go to a flea comb even once it's soft. You can use a flea comb to remove the particles, and then just use a wipe to kind of wipe it off. Hope that answers your question. And that answered your question. I'm just going to hang out with Munchkin here for a minute and see what we can do with her. You can see my whole selection of scissors. Just had to display that. I just had them pretty much all sharpened at Intergroom. Still new to, like I said, it's still new to grooming. So instead of going through a whole schooling or anything, I followed other groomers, but also a lot of self-taught. And I bought some of the shears, even though they were a little expensive, as testing. Figure you could pay $75, $80. Yes. That half moon comb is $80. $80, by the way, just in case you were wondering if you needed a comb like that. So dropping scissors, cutting things you shouldn't cut, throwing them in the drawer can easily either nick a blade, which then it's not cutting smoothly, or dull it out. So I'm not really dropping my shears anymore. I know what to use them on, where to use them. So I just had them all sharpened, essentially to not start from scratch, but I'm used to them now. If I would have gone back to the beginning of the stream, I said if you buy a quality item, it can either be fixed or refurbished as if it were pretty much brand new. If they were cheap shears, I wouldn't be able to sharpen them because I would probably just turn it into nothing. So we'll go over that in the next stream. I was going to brush her, but... Oh, no, don't jump. Don't jump, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. I never leave you. You never leave me, okay? Do you? You signing right now? That's how you sign? Oh, you're giving me a handshake? Agreeing? Okay. Alright. So, again, I'll be putting in the description and the rest of the streams and uploads for the rest of the week until Easter. I'll be figuring out exactly the easiest way. Just contact me. We put an email link that you've shared. And then new subscribers, just comment that you just subscribed. You'll get entered. We'll get that first giveaway started and figure out the rules and the way to do it and the way you can get entered easily, get attention to win these giveaways. I'm going to do them monthly because I'm going to do a lot of lives, unedited, unscripted. This was unscripted. I had no idea where it's going with it. I kind of just had these to go off of. There's just so much more that once you have time and if you just want something to watch, just watch. We'll go over the different products. I've made mistakes. I have the time to go ask these questions. You might not. So I'll get the answers for you. I'll go find them. If you're a groomer or a rep out there, contact me and give me more details like Les Poochs did on starting their brushes again. Now they're very high quality, made here in the USA. They're confident with their quality control. Essentially sold me on making sure I got them versus the Christensen or the Acrobat. I'm going to use these brushes later in the week on a grooming demo, so I'll get more into why these specifically versus other ones now that you have the general idea of a slipper brush. And almost every dog could benefit from using a slipper brush, even those Papillons out there. So, hope you have a happy hump day. I really don't care about what day of the week it is. Each day is a different day. But for you 9-to-5ers, I know you missed this live. So, if anything, questions or comments or recommendations, put them as a comment down below. And I'll get back to it. I'll try to adjust to meet your needs. And until next time, have a good afternoon. And sorry for the shaking, the windiness, but like I said, it's finally nice out here, and I just couldn't stay inside. So, it's windy out, but I was in the sun. Couldn't not be out there. Next time I'll stay inside, though. Probably play with the puppies. Have a great afternoon.